Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Carolyn Stitches. My name is Carolyn, and this is a Flosstube channel about cross stitch. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. If you are new to my channel, I hope you'll stick around and enjoy my journey of cross stitch, and please click the subscribe button below for updates. So today is day, 40 of my stay at home, work from home, quarantine 2020. I'm getting used to it. I'm surviving, getting lots of stitching done, and getting quite a few finishes done on some old projects that need to get done. Today, I thought I'd share with you some old projects that I finally am getting around to finishing. I'm in the process of finishing up a series that I stitched last year, and I figured I'll share my current WIP with you, and we'll do a WIP parade. I don't have a lot of WIPs. I have about 7, 8 maybe. Not a lot of WIPs. I try to work on one thing until it's finished, but I think since I'm doing Mania this year, I'll have a few more WIPs. So let's get into it. So let me share with you my previous finishes. And this was a series I stitched last year, and it is the Heart and Hand series, the Bird in the Hand. I did all the ones that are, I think these are all the ones that are released so far. Autumn, Christmas, Thanksgiving, spring, summer, Valentine's Day, Halloween, and winter. So they're a cute series. They're a very fast stitch. I stitched them on, most of them I stitched on some hand-dyed, coffee tea-dyed Monaco or even weave, something I had. I coffee tea-dyed it following the Priscilla and Chelsea tutorial. So I stitched them last year. I stitched all of them on the same piece of fabric. I think if you go to my Instagram, I'm a fiber freak on Instagram. If you go to my Instagram page, you will see the finished stitch of when I stitched all of them on one piece of fabric and left the margins. So that was sitting around for, I don't know, 6, 7 months, needing something to be done with it. And one of the next steps that needed to be done was the little embellishments to be sewn on. So if you see, they come with a little embellishment. It sat there waiting for the embellishments to be sewn, and I just hadn't done it yet. So with all this extra time of no commute and being at home, I figured let's get this done. So I sewed the embellishments on, and I also have been watching quite a few of Vanna the Twisted Stitcher, her finishing tutorials. So I also did some finishing. So my first one I finished is Winter. And I chose this nice blue that I thought complemented it nicely. These aren't quite finished yet. I still want to do some twisted cord around these, but there's like 8 of them or something, so it's taken me a little time to do the twisted cord since I don't have a buddy to help me, and I'm trying to figure out a way to hook the cord to one end so I can twist it. So this is Winter. And then we have Valentine's. This is Autumn, and this is Halloween, which was on a random piece of Jobeline I had. But what's amazing about them is I kind of almost call both of them Halloween. You know, it's kind of hard to, they could almost both be Halloween. And then we have Thanksgiving, which is also on a random piece of Jobeline I had laying around. And Christmas. I didn't put the embellishments on Christmas because it was some little beads that would be up here and down here somewhere, and I didn't think it added anything to the design, so I left them off. And I didn't put the embellishments on Halloween either. It was some buttons to put down here on the checkerboard. I think it's fine without the embellishments. And I also have Spring and Summer. So this is how I'm going to end up displaying it, and for my finish, this is just a frame that I found at, I think, Hobby Lobby. I don't know when I found it. It's been sitting in the closet. But it has this burlap that's like attached to the frame. Stands up. Has a little clip up here. So I'm just going to clip them in and out of the frame each month. And that's how I'll display them. I made the twisted cord using 2 colors of DMC. And I used this little cording tool that it's like going fishing to twist your cord. This saves so much time and makes it go so much faster. So on this one was my first twisted cord I made, and I twisted it really tight. I thought I over twisted it, like too twisted, but I really love the way it looks. And I followed Vanna's tutorial on applying the twisted cord, and I liked the idea of leaving the little tassels hanging off to the side, because to me that seemed like an easy way of finishing it without having to worry about making the ends meet up and hiding the ends. So this is the one that I thought I over twisted, and it was too twisted, but I really like the way it looks. And on this one was the second one I did. I didn't twist it as much, and it's a little looser, and I don't quite like it as much as the other one. I mean, it works, but I can tell that the twist, I could have twisted it more. So this one's good. This is summer, but I think next time I'm going to really twist them harder like this one and have a tighter twist. So this is the finish. All of them will have a 2-color cord. It's just taking me time to do the 2-color cord because I'm keeping track of the colors as I twist them. I went through the patterns and I picked like 2 colors from each pattern. I think on this one I picked like the red and the green, and I think on this one I picked like the orange and the lighter orange. Valentine's, I think I went with like the 2 mauve colors. So on each one of them I picked 2 colors to do the cording, so it takes me a little time. I only do like 1 or 2 at a time so I don't put the wrong color cording on the wrong project. So this is my finish, and I think it turned out super cute, and Vanna's tutorial is so easy to follow. So I'm looking forward to finishing these up. I also was working on an older project, doing some finishing this week. These are some little pillows. I stitched the stitching years ago. This was an ornament from a Just Cross Stitch Christmas ornament magazine. I don't recall which year it was in. Like I said, I stitched this quite a few years ago. It's on a scrap piece of Jobelan. And this one is a pattern from, who's it from? I had it written down here because I would remember. Cherrywood Design Studios, called Bottom Heavy. And it says, it's okay if you're a little bottom heavy. So this is a snowman I stitched on, I don't know, mystery piece of blue linen that I got at my L&S. And I just had a cute Christmas fabric that I stitched them into pillows. Now I sewed the pillows 2 years ago. I sewed the pillows together and they sat in my drawer of unfinished items waiting to be finished and stuffed. So this week I stuffed them. And I got them all nice and stuffed, and I sewed the, I did my seam, sewed it shut. And then I wanted to do something for the trim. So I went online and I ordered some chenille from Lady Dot Creates. And I think I'm going to add the chenille around the edge of the pillows and do that as the finishing and add some chenille. So hopefully I'll get these finished soon. I had to wait for the order to come in from Lady Dot Creates. So that's my previous finishes that I had for now to share with you. Current WIPs. My last video I had finished the Silver Creek Sampler's Scary Things October Brings and was getting ready to start Reindeer Xmas by AuryTM. So I started that after the last video. Crinkle, crinkle. Sorry about that. And that is Reindeer Xmas by AuryTM. And it's really cute. It's like a Quaker And it's got the little reindeer tangled into the Christmas tree, and he's tipped over the little train set. So that is Reindeer Xmas by AuryTM. AuryTM retired a couple years ago, but she just came out of retirement, so hopefully you can start getting some of her patterns again. She's got some really cute patterns. I especially like the the bunny series. There's like one for Thanksgiving, Halloween, Easter. I did the Easter ones. I think they're called Gobble Bunny, so I got the other ones to do too. But this is my Reindeer Xmas. It is on, I believe, 32, let me look, 32 count Belfast in Pampas by Picture This Plus. As you can see, I've got most of it done. Let me see if this helps at all. So I got the reindeer done. He's real cute. I got the bottom Quakers done. The string lights going from the reindeer. The train is almost done. I need to do the engine. And I am now working on, I finished the words, and I'm now over here working on this Quaker motif, and then I need to come up and do the tree. So this is Reindeer Xmas by AuryTM. It's really big, but I think it's super cute. I did substitute the colors with Victorian Motto Sampler threads. So that's what I'm working on now. I'm only working on one project at a time right now, which I've been concentrating on the Reindeer Xmas because I will participate in Stitch Mania this year. As I said in a prior video, I'm only going to do 4 projects for Stitch Mania, and I'm going to start them on the weekend. I'm not really counting the last weekend. So this first weekend in May, I'll start the first one, second weekend another one, and then so forth. And I'll work on them. I'll try to work on them for the entire weekend. And let's get into some WIPs. I don't have a lot of WIPs, like I said. I usually work on one project at a time. So I have about 7 or 8 WIPs. These will not necessarily be in any order of oldest or newest. I'll try to remember as I show them which one is my oldest WIP and which one is my newest WIP. But the first one is this Mill Hill Kit Holiday Flamingo. It's ridiculous what I have left to do on this one. I have the flamingo stitched. The cute little flamingo is all stitched. All the beads are done. The flamingo is done. I have it cut out. All I need to do is do the beading to add the legs. So, and of course, I want to finish the back. I want to put a backing on the back to finish the back. So that's my flamingo. Maybe I'll finish that up in the next 2 weeks. There's not much work there. I'll just sit down and do the beading and get it done. So that is Holiday Flamingo. Put it away so I don't lose it. And one of my next WIPs is Spooky Night by the Stitchworks. This one I've been using as a travel project for whenever I go to my knit night with my friends, or my stitching groups with my friends. I did a lot of the pumpkin and some of the words, so now I'm just filling in a lot of this black down here, and that's easy to do when you're sitting around talking with your friends. This one I have in my project bag, made with my Tula Pink fabric. I made this one. And I met Tula Pink at a seminar, and I had her sign it. I love it. So this is in my Tula Pink project bag. This one is stitched on 32 count Rubious by Picture This Plus linen. Just love the way the colors pop on there. So that's where I am with that. I have my thread in here because my friends and I had a Zoom Thursday night because we can't get together. We Zoomed and chatted, and I worked on, I think I finished stitching in down here by the W, and I came down here and did this. So I'm still working on, there's a lot of black here to fill in, but I really enjoy this project. I think it looks great against this fabric. So that is Spooky Night by the Stitchworks. Find a place to put these. I'm also working on one of my other WIPs is Bothy Threads, Cinderella Fairy Tale. Now this is a kit. It comes as a kit with the fabric. It came with 14 count hand-dyed Aire and all the floss. And you can see I started it on the Aire. I didn't quite care for working on the Aire. I don't know why. I maybe it was the color of the fabric that I wasn't quite pleased with stitching it. But I had started stitching a piece of it here. And I think I was in here working, stitching. And I just wasn't making any progress on it. And like I said, I think it was the fabric that wasn't speaking to me. So I went to my local needlework shop and I picked up a piece of 28 count lugana in Ocean's Tide. Fabrics, who is it by? Fabrics by Stephanie. So here it is. I like this fabric much better. It's much more enjoyable to stitch on. I went out and bought myself a cone of DMC 310. So this is, I think I finished this page. I think this is one page finish. It's like 4 pages, you know, quadrants, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I finished this page and I put in some of the sparklies. I'm using Petite Treasure Braid for the sparkles and the silver and some of the gold accents. But that's as far as I've gotten on this, and since I changed the fabric to this fabric, I'm really enjoying it much more. So at some point I'll get back to stitching this. And I think when I'm done with it, and I'm sure that I'm done stitching it and I'm done, I may give this away. Maybe I'll do a giveaway. I wasn't really ever thinking of doing giveaways on this channel, but somebody may want it. It started. I know my counts are right. And you know, all the floss is there that hasn't been touched. So maybe somebody will want this kit when I'm done with it. Next WIP. Okay, this is my oldest WIP I have at the moment. I don't know. It's been a love-hate relationship with this pattern since I've gotten it. It is DoNaStitch. She's on Etsy, and it is Cinderella. I love it. It's bright colors. As you can probably realize already between the last one and this one, I like Cinderella. I do like the Disney princesses. So this is my oldest WIP. It's a PDF download. And this was another one I had started on a piece of fabric. Did I? No, I don't think I started on a different piece of fabric and redid it again. But I don't know what it is about it. I stitch on it, and then I don't like it, and then I put it away, and I come back and I stitch on it again. Maybe I did change the fabric. I can't remember. But this is I think it's just a 28 count lugana. Nothing fancy. Actually, it's a 32 count lugana in antique white. So this is where I am. About a page, almost a page done. And there it is. It's an easy stitch. I mean, it's like good blocks of color to fill in and work on. Maybe at one point this might become a travel project again for my knit nights. So that's DoNaStitch Cinderella. My next WIP is one that you've seen in the prior videos, which is the Mirabilia Royal Games 1 and 2. Royal Games 1 is pretty much finished. Royal Games 2, Queen of Diamonds is pretty much done, and I need to start the Queen of Clubs. And I've showed this recently, but we'll give it to you to show again since it is a WIP Parade. This is stitched on 32 count Belfast in Lilac. So, there you go. Maybe this summer after WIP Mania, after Mania, I'll get back on to her and get her finished. And this is in a project bag that I made myself with some pretty Christmassy type fabric. And let me pause real quick because I want to get the pattern for the next one. Okay, sorry about that. This was a this next WIP was a pattern that was gifted to me by a fellow stitcher last August, I think it's Kia B Quilting and Tech Eye in the Hive did Common Threaded Stitcher. It was for the month of August, I think, and every day was a different prompt, and one of the prompts was your unicorn pattern. And my unicorn pattern at that time was Crabby All Year by Raise the Roof Designs. I had seen someone stitch it and post it on, I think, Stitch Mania on the Facebook page, and I couldn't find the pattern anywhere. If I could find it, I could only find one of the it's a 4-part series. I could only find one of the parts. So when I posted it as my unicorn, a lovely fellow stitcher, Janet, hi Janet, over at Janet Jabber, she contacted me and she's like, I got it, you want it? I was like, oh, you are the best. So she sent it to me, and Crabby All Year, I don't have it with the normal pattern because I'm trying to take good care of it because it was sent to me. But Crabby All Year, this is January through March. I just like it because it's like a monthly one, but they're silly. And she didn't have the buttons. I went online and ordered the button packs for it, so that's fine. April through June, which are Taxes, the Bunny and Bugs. July through September, and this is how the heat here in South Florida does feel. Scorching hot that you could roast eggs on the asphalt. And October through December. So she was so kind to send me the patterns. I keep them put away, safe and nice. Somebody has already contacted me that they would like to stitch this next, so when I'm done stitching it, I will pass the stash. I checked with Janet, she was fine with it, so I'll pass the stash and send it to them. I keep my working copy with my project because, like I said, I don't want to ruin the pattern since it was gifted to me. And this one is in a project bag, vinyl front project bag I made that has some little fairies on it, some little bubbles. I think they're bubbles or other earths, I don't know. This one is on a 32 count linen that I coffee tea dyed myself. Whoops, upside down. And I finished April through June, and I got all that done. This taxes here, filling this in with this solid fill-in took a while, and when I was done with that, I decided to put away for a little bit. I still have some back stitching to do here on the tax form, but I'll do that when I'm done stitching the rest of it. When I coffee tea dyed this 32 count, it came out, it shrunk or something. It's small. I want to say it's almost a 36 count now, but I love it. I think it's really cute. I'll get back to working on it. And I only have one more WIP. I told you guys I don't have a lot of WIPs. My last WIP is a collection of projects here. It is, I have it in a little project bag I made with fabric that kind of looks like cross stitch. I made this, me and my stitchy friends, there's 4 of us total. We attended a retreat a couple years ago. The 4 of us went up to this bare bones retreat that Brick City Cross Stitch and Ocala puts on. It's 3 days of stitching, and you stitch on whatever you want, and the room's open the whole time, and it's wonderful. She does it like 4 times a year, and I try to get up there when I can. Jean at Brick City Cross Stitch, she's the shop owner. She's a lovely woman, great fabrics. So she puts on the retreat, and I made these bags for me and my friends, so we all had matching project bags for retreat. And this one is the Marking Samplar. Sorry, crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. 12 Days of Christmas. And I'm changing the patterns up. I'm not putting the words around like the partridge here. I'm just doing the partridge in the border. I'm not doing the words. The turtle doves, I just stitched the doves. I didn't do the words. I'm going to think of something to put a border around them. Same with the hens. So if they have a border, I'm doing their border and leaving off the words. Some of these that are like maybe a little bigger, maybe I'll put 2 drummers. Yeah, with the maids. So that's that. These ones I'm stitching on some Monaco I had in my stash that I coffee tea dyed. And I'm stitching them on, you know, multiple on one project. So you can see this is the partridge in a pear tree. I just left off all the words. It gives it a little smaller pattern. Then I'll figure out a way to finish it. The French hen. This one is the calling birds. This is the geese. Elaine, I need to tries to do some back stitch around these ones so they pop a little more, and I'll come up with some border to stitch around them. I have, let's see here, the turtle doves. This is the gold rings. I put my initials in. Let me see if I stitched anything on. Yep, one more piece of fabric. I haven't stitched anything on it yet. So I have the swans and the maids, the ladies dancing, the lords. So I'm getting there. The way the pattern comes, it's like all of them are separate patterns. So yeah, there's the swan. I gotta figure out something to fill in above the where the words are at the top, so it's just not an empty space. The maids, I'll leave off the words and shorten the border. The ladies dancing, I'll just do the version here. How that's focusing or not. The lords. Pipers. I'll break out some hand dyes or something to try to give it a little interest. Drummers. That was the partridge. 2 turtle doves. I want to come up with some kind of border for that one since it didn't have a border. And the hens. Calling birds, and that was the gold rings. That is my WIPs. I don't have a lot. I think of any of them if I just sat down and focused and get them done. It wouldn't take much time. So at some point I'll get back into stitching on some of them and getting them done. Like I said, I don't like to have too many projects going at one time. So I think with Mania and starting 4 starts, I'm going to have to, at some point, just get some of these done so they're not sitting around. And since I'm on a finishing kick, if I get the 12 Days of Christmas done, maybe I'll have them finished in time for Christmas. So, haul. I had a little bit of haul this week. Kringles is in my Mania plans, and another pattern. I was missing some DMC colors. I didn't have all the DMC colors for the kits, so I had to order some DMC floss, and I ordered that from 123 Stitch, because yeah, I'm not doing curbside for a couple flosses. But as you know, a couple flosses, I'm not paying shipping for just a couple flosses either. So a few patterns had to piggyback in the package and come along for the ride. And I picked up some patterns. I picked up this one by Pickle Barrel Designs called 8 Crazy Nights. I'll make this for my husband, so we get a little variety at the holidays and we get him represented. I thought this was really cute. And another Pickleberry Designs Happy Hanukkah. In our household, it's a combination. We're like a Christmaka household. And I also picked up from Pineberry Lane Fancy Blacket October Ride. That's super cute. And another Pineberry Lane Fancy Blacket Witch's Brew. And I did get also one piece of fabric came in. This is by Fantasy Dyed Fabrics. She's on Etsy. She dyes her fabric. She doesn't dye them all the time, so it's when she kind of posts, she has a handful of fabrics, and I, you know, go scope it out to see if there's anything that's really unique and catches my fancy. I did use one of her fabrics on the Halloween Quaker by Lila's Studio. She had a hand-dyed fabric that was just perfect for it, and I stitched Halloween Quaker on that. I'll share that with you when we get a little closer to Halloween and I start pulling out my Halloween stuff. But this is Fantasy Dyed Fabrics off Etsy. And there's not really a color name. They're one-offs. They're one-of-a-kinds. So I thought this was really pretty. I could probably do a Halloween on it. Or something Eastery. Spring. Figure out something for it. I thought it was real pretty. Let's see here. So, did I get everything? I got everything. Not a lot. Plans. Plans are to finish stitching my Reindeer Xmas. Since I got the first part done, I'm hoping today maybe I can get this Quaker done, and by tomorrow I'll get the tree done. And I'll have it done by the end of this weekend. When I'm done with that, I think I'm going to jump over and start the Frosty's Night Out by Blackbird Designs. I've had this kitted up for the past couple weeks. It's small. It's only like 4.5 inches by 4.5 inches. So I think I can probably get that done before, you know, next weekend and Mania starts. So that's my plans. And then after starting next weekend, Mania. I don't know which of my Mania projects I'll do first. I have Kringles by I think it's Little House Needleworks or Country. I think it's Little House Needleworks Kringles. And the Cheshire Pumpkin by Tempting Tangles, Stitcher's Code from stitchandly.com, and Dreidel Dreidel by Ink Circles. So one of those I'll start next weekend, and then in my next video I'll show you the progress I've made on them. So until then, happy stitching, stay safe, stay healthy, and like I said, if you liked the video, please hit the subscribe button, please like. Please leave me any comments below with any questions you may have. I'll be happy to answer them. And until then, have fun. fun stitching. Bye.